Workhorse stock price prediction. Why did Workhorse stock crash? Okay, guys, in this video, we're going to talk about Workhorse stock. So I mentioned Workhorse in one of my previous videos I posted last year as we were kind of entering that massive EV boom. I believe it was back in October or November. So if we could kind of sit here and take a look at the 6-month chart. Okay, so as I pull up the 6-month chart here, you can see that it looked like that Workhorse stock had actually bottomed back in October, and it ran up all the way to around $40 or so. And a lot of this anticipation was simply for the USPS contract that a lot of people thought that was going to be awarded to Workhorse that would be worth billions and billions of dollars. But we got some news yesterday that they did not win the contract. The contract was actually awarded to one of their competitors called Oshkosh. So this absolutely sent the stock plummeting. So literally, Workhorse stock crashed like over 50% in yesterday's trading session. So we're going to talk a little bit about what I think about Workhorse long term and what you should do if you ended up holding the stock here for anticipation of the USPS contract. Before I get that video, go to Webull and grab your 2 free stocks up to $1,850. You guys can grab those by hitting the link in the description below or going to investortrip.com/Webull. So let's go back to Workhorse. So Workhorse was one of my favorite EV companies simply because they had a vast network for EV delivery vans. So these delivery vans had some awesome features to it. I talked about it in my previous video, but one of the things that really impressed me was their drone capability. So the delivery vans actually had drones on top, and it's called last mile delivery. So basically, instead of, for instance, USPS drivers or UPS drivers actually going up to your home, they could use the drone on top of the Workhorse delivery van and drop your package off. So this saves a lot of time and also, actually protects delivery riders from things like dogs and inclements and weather and stuff like that. So I just thought the technology was forward thinking. I think we're going to see more and more drone use in the future. And that's probably one of the reasons why so many people were high on the stock. So what ended up happening is that Workhorse did not win the USPS contract. So if we head over here to Barron's, we can see it says Workhorse stock gets crushed as USPS dropped a bombshell. The U.S. Postal Service said award the contract to replace its white right-hand drive delivery vans to Oshkosh, a diversified seller of military and commercial vehicles. So this is really bad. So the award was for 1,650 vehicles delivered over the coming years, a significant chunk of business. So the stock absolutely crashed. So what ended up happening is actually Oshkosh's stock went up. So you guys check out here, you can check out Oshkosh stocks. If you guys wanted to invest in kind of that trend in USPS replacing their vans, you could check out this stock. It's Oshkosh. It's ticker symbol OSK. It trades on the New York Stock Exchange. As you can see, that stock is up pretty big after hours as well. So what does all of this mean, guys? Well, really what's going on is basically there's two ways you can look at it. If you ended up holding Workhorse stock up here, you're like down 50%. Obviously, you're a bit in panic mode, and a lot of people were in panic mode yesterday. But for me, I found a lot of amazing deals. The stock I bought the most of was, of course, ChargePoint Switchback Energy, because the merger is going to be completed within the next week, and it should trade on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol CHPT on March 1st. So that was the stock I bought the most of. I also bought some other electric stocks. I bought a little bit of Solo. Tesla was on sale, and Workhorse is about 50% off. So now what we're kind of looking at is what to do next. Well, for one thing, I think definitely we knew that EV stocks weren't all going to take off. We saw Tesla stock kind of retracing. We saw Tesla pull back. And I still believe that Tesla is basically going to give us a glimpse into the future for EV. So when Tesla's running high, we could expect these other stocks to trade high. When Tesla's running down, we expect these other stocks to rate up. But I think this is an interesting dip buying opportunity. So what actually happened, guys? And I've been doing a lot of research. I've been listening to a lot of really successful investors, mainly billionaires, on how they invest their money and things like that. And I want to take an interesting quote that I got from Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy. He's the guy who's the first CEO of a publicly traded company in America to add Bitcoin to its balance sheet. And he said something very interesting in a recent podcast I listened to him. He said something about that, what's really going on is when a stock sells off like this, what's really going on is that the shareholder base is changing. So I thought that was a really interesting way to kind of look at this. So instead of looking at you're down 50% of your money, obviously what's really going on is the shareholder base is changing. So all of these people up here that own the stock, they were basically speculating because there was no guarantee that they were going to win the contract. But now all the speculators are out, and now we're just left with the real long-term investors, the people that really see the long-term value in Workhorse. Their product, like I said, maybe they didn't win the USPS contract, but there's other companies out there that have to replace their delivery vans. You've got companies like UPS, you've got FedEx, DHL, and then you've got all the other companies, that have similar services or are going to be providing similar services as well. So obviously this is a huge setback, I think, for Workhorse, but the game's not over, I don't think. I think this puts Workhorse at a very attractive price. And I was actually checking out ARK Invest's. You can actually sign up for Kathy Wood's ARK Invest every day. They post which stocks they're buying and which stocks they're selling. And I noticed when I took a look at their latest, trading report, they didn't sell Workhorse stock. So obviously, perhaps they're in it for the long run. They see the long-term value in this company. And I think it's more attractive than it's been in a long time. We've shaken out a lot of those speculators now, and now we're back to the real long-term investors. So if we just take a look here at the one-year chart, we can see that there's basically a lot of strong support here at $15. So I wouldn't worry about the stock going much lower. To put it in a better way, you could basically say that all of the gains that were made since October have basically come back. But we're still here. There's a lot of strong buying support at around the $15 level, which means that there's some extra value here. So obviously it wasn't great to see them lose this contract, but there could be more contracts in the future. And an important thing is that Workhorse has an amazing drone technology that I really haven't seen from any other companies, and I think it's going to change the game. We saw the same thing where I was talking about EHong and how they had drone technology and things like that. These, using the air for deliveries, for transportation, it's going to change a lot this decade, and people are a little bit uncomfortable about it. We're not used to seeing things flying through the air. We're not used to taking an Uber through the air. We're used to taking an Uber on the ground. We're not used to delivery drivers delivering packages with drones. We're used to them delivering it by hand, but things are going to change, guys. So I would say, one of the things I've learned over the last year is that it's really important to embrace change. So now here we have a massive dip buying opportunity. If you guys have missed the run up in Workhorse stock, this is a wonderful opportunity to buy in. I'm going to definitely be buying some shares this week. I just think a lot of those speculators are out. It's like getting this stock 50% on sale, and I'm really excited to be able to get back in because I really don't have much exposure to EV companies that are based in delivery vans. So you've got other ones out there. You've got Iro is an interesting one there into delivery as well. But I think Workhorse is the best one. And I still think it's a very attractive stock at this price. So many of these stocks that sold off, I'm going to make a video as well about CCIV. That's the one for Lucid Air. I bought a lot of these on the massive dips because I think people here are just a little bit short-term thinking. The speculators are out of the stock now. It's just a long-term investor. So this is a wonderful time, I think, to get into Workhorse Group. So like I said, do your own due diligence. I am not a financial advisor. Never invest money that you can't afford to lose. But if you bought Workhorse stock up here and you were in it for the long run, why not add to your position? Obviously you could be able to, get twice as many shares as you could just a day ago. Even, and a lot of the speculators are out of the company. So when the speculators are out of the company and now you've got buyers here, a lot of these buyers, as you can see, that came in here, here, and here, they're in it for the long run. So I don't see a ton of downside risk if you're worried about the stock collapsing even further below 15. You can put a stop loss order. But really, it's up to you. Obviously, I think this company's super undervalued. It's a pretty low market cap. And I think it's got a lot more room to run. And the interesting thing is that, okay, so yeah, the stock is down, but the stock is still up over almost 500% over the last 52 weeks. So, I think we're in this type of market now where people are just expecting 1,000%, 2,000% gainers, in the stock market every year. And that's just not realistic, guys. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ, S&P 500 probably gains like 15% a year. The NASDAQ probably does 30% a year at best. So if you buy something that's up 400 or 500%, you're outperforming the market by crazy. So, come on, don't expect too much. We're not going to get 1,000% gains. As you can see at one point here, Workhorse stock was up 13, 1,300%. So, as long as you're outpacing the Nasdaq and S&P 100, you're already winning. So that's one of the reasons why I think Workhorse is a great dip buying opportunity and buying some shares this week. So if you guys enjoy my content, be sure to subscribe to my channel and smash the like button for more videos on Workhorse. And if you enjoy my content, be sure to check out my daily stock watch newsletter on Substack, and also check out my private Discord chat where we talk about EV stocks and other high growth stock opportunities. So that's until next time, guys. Take care.